On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to the Sober is Dope podcast. I'm your host, POP Buchanan, and I'm extremely excited today to bring a special guest on our podcast today. Today, our guest, Jana Jack, celebrates 1 year sobriety, and she's going to be our mini expert on how to navigate recovery during your first year. And I promise you all today that this episode is one of the best episodes I have done on Sober is Dope with a guest in a long time. Jana is like amazingly candid, real, down to earth. She's spiritually connected. She took the steps. She's doing the work. She's the real deal. It's hard to find people that's genuinely authentic, and that can express it in a really authentic way when you're talking about the darkness of addiction. And she's like a poet on how she brings it all together from her personal perspective. What I love most about this episode is we tackle difficult, complex issues such as grief, divorce, losing a parent, navigating a darkness, starting over in life, taking the steps to really choose yourself, putting yourself first, and leaning on God. So Jana is amazing, and her ability to communicate her journey is profound. So without further ado, I would like to read her bio, and I'm going to bring you guys in on this amazing episode. Jana Jack is a passionate advocate for sobriety and personal growth. Born and raised in Seattle, Washington, Jana pursued a career in TV sales and advertising in the hustle and bustle of downtown Seattle before embracing island life in Maui, Hawaii. Now back to her roots and living alcohol-free, Jana enjoys a life filled with outdoor adventures, quality time with loved ones, and her loyal pup. Active in her local sober community, she shares her journey on Instagram and Instagram threads, inspiring others to live authentically. As she approaches her 1 year journey anniversary on November 23rd, 2024, Jana is excited to continue writing, traveling, and expanding her impact in the sober space with aspirations of writing a book and possibly launching her own podcast. She finds true happiness in connecting with others, sharing stories, and enriching lives together. By transforming her past pain into purpose, she thrives and strives to inspire and uplift those around her. You can find and catch up with Jana at Jana Jack, and that's JanaAjack on Instagram. And with no further ado, as promised, let's get into our episode. Peace. Hey everyone, welcome to the Sober is Dope podcast. I'm your host, Pop Buchanan, and we have an amazing guest today, Jana Jack. And Jana is an expert in how to navigate 1 year sobriety. She's going to give us insights on how she's almost reached her 1 year sobriety mark. She'll be celebrating on November 23rd, this Saturday, her 1 year sober anniversary. Jana is a special person to come on the podcast because she's going to help us with perspective on how to navigate relationship difficulties, personal struggles, relapse, and all it, and the kind of the dark side of coming out of a potentially bad situation and choosing yourself to be sober. This is important, everyone, because we all know while on the recovery journey, we hit these roadblocks, and we talk about grief a lot and mental health a lot on Sober is Dope. And the one of the biggest catalysts for change or destruction is relationships, right? Divorce and people you love and disappointment and heartbreak, and that could kind of help you heal or throw you off the deep end. So, Jana, thank you so much for being here with us today. Welcome to
Thank
Sober is
you,
Dope.
Bob. Thank you so much. It's an honor. I
All right.
just am so happy to be here and share my story. This is my first podcast I've ever been on, so I'm a little
We're
nervous,
honored.
but you know,
We're
it's
so
great.
honored. Thank you. So, first and foremost, when we were talking offline, you was telling me that you're into yoga, golf, weights, the sauna. So, just starting off, tell us what it's been like just a ESPN version of just your first year. Like, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I feel so good. I've never felt this good, physically, mentally, spiritually. Um, I, I kind of was mentioning this too offline. Like in 2023, I was pretty much sober most of that year, but I had some massive relapses, and they were purposeful. But that period was really important for me. It's scary as hell for your family and friends because you could kill yourself. I mean, but I really needed that time, I guess, I was still in denial, I thought that I could just go 30 days, 60 days, 90 days and I'd be cured. I mean, we've all been there, I feel like. And so that first year was pretty brutal. I also, went through a divorce, just a lot of sadness. I was starting over. I moved back to my hometown. I moved a lot in like the last 7 years. I was in Hawaii, and then I was like in a little town like 6 hours outside of where I'm from, Seattle area. And then I came back because it was literally like life or death. So 2023 was an interesting year. But honestly, now that 2024, since I've been actually sober, it's been amazing. I mean, and I've been working the steps. I have, I go to AA. I love AA. I have a community. I have a sponsor. That is what changed it for me, is getting that community.
Right.
Because, man, I mean, I was kind of white knuckling my way through it in all of 2023. I wasn't doing any real work. I was in therapy, but until I feel like for me, what really helped and changed was having that mentor, that sponsor that understood what I was going through, and then to sit in these rooms with people where our circumstances might be different, but like the feelings are the same. I'm like, you're telling like even reading your book, Pop, I'm like, I highlighted so much in here because I'm like, I feel this, I felt this, and that is just so important because I think just for so many years, for 10 to 12 years, I just felt so alone. I felt like I was a moral failing, it's so complicated. So, I mean, I guess that's a really long.
No, that's beautiful. It is complicated.
Yeah.
It is because when I was in my addiction, you're right. You do feel alone. You can't really make a connection with someone else being out there going through what you're going through. You kind of isolated. You're not as prior. You usually is prior to AA or any type of intervention. So in your mind, you just like, damn, it's just I'm in this house or in my home, drinking my life away. I'm depressed. I'm afraid, kind of ashamed. I'm embarrassed. And then what comes with that is the health thing. And you just feel alone. So thanks for saying that, because most people, there's someone out there right now using that don't know how to get help. They don't know where to start, and they think they're all by themselves. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
So when you what prompted you, can you give us a little background on what prompted you to seek recovery and sobriety? Like, can we talk about your story, your addiction story? Like, tell us like, why were you drinking? How did that come about, and where did your drinking become an addiction, and how did that lead to you finding your sobriety?
Yeah. So I started, I was a pretty good kid and I was a rule follower. So like I didn't really start drinking till 21.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I had, a couple drinks in high school, but I
Right,
just,
right, right.
it was great. I was quote unquote normal, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, once I was in college and then we kind of have this connect. I mean, my dad passed away when I was 22 and
Oh.
it was February of my senior year in college. And, at that time in your life, it's like, you're already like, you're so young. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But like, I just remember that grief. And my dad, he was sick my whole life. He had MS, multiple sclerosis, really bad progressive. So like, it wasn't that he just died. It was like grief, chronic, long-term trauma kind of grief that I was going through. And I just, I remember, I'll never forget, like, I got in a fight with my sister, who I don't know what I'd do without her. I love her to death. But like this, we're living together. I was 22 and I remember just going to the local bar and the neighborhood and just taking, having a drink. And it was like my whole body, it was like I found my solution to life. Like the
Mm.
pain just evaporated. I was like that perfect feeling of numb but confident, that voice in my head that I still have now, it's like just quieted. And it was like, oh my gosh, it was like my pain reliever. And that's when I think an issue started, because I started using alcohol for fun. I mean, I was going to parties, I was having fun, I was dating, doing, whatever. But then I was starting to use it just to mask that pain, what I was feeling, my grief. And I like, yeah. And so, I mean, in my 20s, I blacked out a lot too. That like
Right.
I just like I would drink the same as my friends and I would just like I just feel like it affected me differently. Like I'd always I don't even know. I blacked out probably once a month at least for so many years. It really it freaks me
Right.
out. I'm like, I
Right.
hope my brain's okay. But so I mean, I guess, and then I also met my now ex-husband, but we were together for a really long time. And so, we loved to drink. We loved to go out. We'd go play pool. I mean, we had so much fun. We really had a good time, but you know, I always seemed to take it to an extreme, like, and I never really, I think this is why I got away with it for so long. Cause like I never got a DUI. I never, like, nothing crazy ever happened. I kept my job, but it was just these little instances. So anyway, flash forward, we ended up moving to Hawaii and that's when I think my drinking became daily use and it was like so normal. I mean, I was there for like 4 years working my butt off. I mean, but every day I got off work, it's Hawaii, so you're
Right.
like
Right.
on the beach having a cocktail, like multiple cocktails. And I know that that's when my tolerance just got, I mean, I could drink so much and it wouldn't really, and I'd be fine, whatever. And then there was obviously my times where I'd overdo it, and then 2020, which a lot of people, COVID hit, unemployment.
Right.
I was like, yeah, cocktail sounds good at 11:30 a.m. Like whatever. So this is when I think it just started. Like I just started becoming a daily drinker and again, just using it for feeling good, feeling bad, any little uncomfortable feeling that crept up, I'd have a drink, and it just became more of a habit. And then, yeah, and then I do remember when, 2 years ago, which is wild because I was in such a different place 2 years ago. I just remember drinking and thinking like, I don't care. I'm an alcoholic. I'm turning myself into an alcoholic, and I don't care, because 2 years ago at this time that I was living in my own hell. I mean, it was my rock bottom. I didn't care if I lived or died. I was so reckless, and I just drank all the time. I didn't care, and that's a scary place to be at, because, before I would be like, well, I kind of got obsessed with like the, what do they call it? Detox and then retox. So I was kind of for many years, like partying all weekend, and then I'd like go to the gym and drink my green juice and, be healthy.
Right.
But like those last 2 years, like 2022, I guess, 2022, I didn't care. And things got really dark and really bad. And, so, I mean, that's, again, it's always kind of been in my life, but it really got bad in that.
Right.
And my relationship was falling apart. So obviously.
Right. Do you think there was a connection between, so we started off talking about it masking the grief, and then you lose dad, and then you keep going. And there was never no kind of healing of the initial grief, right? You was like, and not a lot of people will understand this. My dad had a heart condition, so I get it. You're seeing them literally go, and you're experience the death, the dying in real time. Yeah. And it's sad. No matter how much praying, you have to go in that room by yourself and just deal with that pain. So I can understand the escape there. And then, you get to this point 2 years ago where you hit this darkness, right? This rock bottom darkness, this emotional hell. Could it be part of that was you never had any healing from the death of dad?
This episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. In heart-pumping moments, you need hydration that can keep up. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Scientifically formulated to quickly replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from your well-earned sweat session. Hydrate your favorite mode of movement with Liquid IV, made with triple the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients. Also available and sugar-free. Tear, pour, live more. Visit liquidiv.com to learn more.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe to clean that stuck-on sauce from the stove feels like...
Oh, boy. That tickles. Stop.
It feels like coming home to your needy corgi after a long day.
Best part of the day, finally.
With Clorox, clean feels carefree. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
I think so. Yeah, I've thought about that a lot, and I'm sorry, Pop, about your dad, and
right.
And I gotta say real quick, I mean, our dads have the same birthday. If you remember.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Yeah. September 11th is a big day. We got we have some huge angels, right? Good.
But but I 100%, I think that. I mean, and I finally feel like it was like, I look at my life kind of before drinking, my drinking days, and now after drinking. And I know you probably heard this, but like, I feel like my emotional maturity just kind of like stopped, and spiritual, like when he died and I started drinking, and like, it's like I kind of I was in like my life got flipped upside down, and I just stopped maturing, like emotionally and spiritually. And I never, I mean, I was in therapy my whole life, honestly. I've been in therapy forever. But nothing's worked until I kicked the booze, and now that that's out of my system, I feel like I'm finally like, I'm grieving. I'm leaning into the grief too. I'm not like shaming myself for being sad still after this long, and it's okay, and I'm grieving the childhood that I never really got to experience. It's like when the main male figure in your life, I mean, my parents were also divorced, so I'd see him every other weekend or whatever, but like, that was my dad, and he was like a equivalent of like a great grandpa. Like, I mean, he was bedridden. He was in he was in a wheelchair. So like I grew up, obviously it kind of screwed me up, I think, because it was like there was no safety. I mean, we had such an emotional connection and I knew he loved me more than anything, but it was like I wasn't safe.
Right.
How are you safe as like a 8-year-old girl and your dad who's 6'7", who's
Wow.
laying there? But it's like, so yeah, I mean, that's something I think I'll be, it's tough. It's like I'll be working through that probably for a long time. Um and it is kind of interesting because it's like I was thinking about this. It's like my drinking career started with my dad dying, and then my drinking ended with a divorce. And I'm like, man, it's just been
Right,
tough.
right.
It's been tough. It's tough.
It's been tough, but hey, you're here, you're resilient, you're healing, you're doing the work, and I'm telling you, on the other side of this, all of this is paradise. I know you hear me talk about that. I didn't understand what it meant initially, but it gets better. There's a person in you that's absolutely, you're changing the world now.
Mhm.
And where you're going is going to be, I don't know where exactly you're going to land, but it's going to be beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So just follow the process, because again, recovery gives us the best shot at really getting to the bottom of our trauma and pain.
Mhm.
And society kind of flips it. They tell us, you watch a movie, as soon as something happens bad in a movie, let's go get a drink. Let's
Mhm.
go do this. Let's go do that. Let's go party. Let's go drink it off. That's not the correct response.
Right.
So now I feel confident that with this new, go ahead, you can check that. We can always pause.
Sorry. It's
No,
my
go ahead.
dog.
Oh, he could come. Tell me, look, hey, Sober's dope is doggy friendly. Where he at? He's chilling.
He's so cute.
He,
He's
yeah,
fine. I
yeah.
threw him a bone.
Oh, good, good. Yeah. Oh man, we chilling now. We got a dog in the house. Right?
No.
After we lost our last dog, we just never could get another one. I mean,
Oh,
we have to, but it was just tough. But I get it. I'm a dog guy. I'm a dog guy.
yeah, yeah.
All right, all right. So, all right, now. You unpacked a lot. This might be one of the most powerful episodes we have ever done, because it's in combination with two different types of grief, right? And
Mhm.
you're going through this while drinking
Mhm.
to heal. And
Mhm.
so you're drinking, you get to this point where you like, I don't care no more, it's all or nothing, whatever. Like you like Tupac, it's like me against the world, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a place where it's so dark that it's no longer fun.
Mhm.
I want to know what the darkness felt like. What was the thing that you got to the point where you said, you know what, maybe I should care and kind of get some help?
Yeah.
What caused you to get there? Was it the relationship?
I think, gosh, like I always remember like that time. Felt like being in the bottom of a well and like just looking up and seeing like in this goo tar. Like I couldn't move. I couldn't do, like I was stuck,
You
and
was in
I
the sunken place. You was in the
yeah,
sunken place.
yeah, man. And then like the light would just, it was slowly shutting, and
Wow.
I think what I mean, I've always had a relationship with God, um and I think God is what pulled me through. I mean,
Oh
100%,
wow.
because I don't know, I wouldn't have made it if I didn't have that relationship.
Wow.
That's,
Powerful.
because I don't know. I can't even tell you. I was so, I mean, this is getting deep. I mean, trigger warning. I was never suicidal. Like I wouldn't have done anything to myself, but I did not care. I remember like if I get killed tonight, like I was so reckless. I didn't care.
Right, right.
It
Did
was
you
just
did you
dark.
did you feel like life was unfair? Was it the little girl in you just always felt like life was just an unfair place? Like what was something in you, from what I'm hearing, was just this theme, like I'm just giving up, I don't care anymore. Like it was this compounded disappointments throughout your life that
Mhm.
led you to just throw in the towel, so to say.
Yeah. I think like I've always been resilient, I feel like, and I think I was so tired. I was at the end of my rope, and I think during this time my marriage, and we were best friends. I mean, we were together for 12 years and you know, I'm so thankful that he was in my life and we're still, you know, we're friends. It's okay. We went our separate ways. It's better this way, but I'm so thankful for that. I'm so grateful for him. But it yeah, I don't even know. I think because I'll never give up. I mean, that's not me. I'm never
That's
gonna
not
give
you.
up. And
Right.
I've always, you know, I always dabbled in sobriety. I was always sober curious. I remember like back in 2018, like finding this girl who I still follow on Instagram. And she's like this beautiful wellness influencer. And I remember she's like, I go to AA. And I was like, what? Like, this beautiful girl's got it all together. Like, she's in recovery. And that was, I just, you know, like, addiction doesn't discriminate. Like it can take
Yeah.
anyone down, you know,
Right.
and I think that's what kind of switched too. It's like I'm a fighter, and I was like, it's trying to kill me. Like this addiction is trying to kill me, and I have a family that loves me. They live 6 hours away. I know that they'd be there. I think that was the hardest part for me too, is just asking for help. Like, you know, I was married, I was living my life, I had moved 2 different places. You know, I was all over the place. I was independent. But so I felt like I can't ask them for help. I'm a 33-year-old woman. Like, you know, but that was the best thing to do. And I think in my mind, I just thought I gotta give it a shot. I gotta give sobriety another shot. Like I had only done these sober Januaries or this or that, you know, and I
Right.
knew how good it felt. That's the other thing. I knew how good I felt being sober. And part of me was just like, no, I'm not gonna let this take me down. I'm not gonna let this do that. So, you know, and it was kind of a fresh start. So I think that kind of helps. But you even talk about that in your book, but like it's not going to last forever, you know, like it's always, you know, moving back home. I mean, in January 2023, I had no car because I totaled it. Didn't get a DUI though, thank God.
Thank
But
God.
no car, no job, no house. My husband was, you know, that was done, that was gone. And I was so fortunate because I just told my parents, I was like, like that was kind of my rehab. I was like, can I please just move in for like a couple months? Like I just got to get my head on straight. And I'm so thankful. And I was still kind of drinking a little bit. And then, you know, my sister really put me in my place. I needed that tough love. Like I needed that family and those people.
Right.
Like, who are you, Jana? Like you used to be a badass. Like, what are you doing? Who is this person?
Right.
And I think I was so isolated living in this town that I was at. I forgot who I was, you know, and
Right.
I'm so grateful for them. My family has been, and my close friends, they have helped me stay sober more than anything too. Like they help me
Wow.
come back to reality, you know, like
Right. Snap back to reality. We have similar, I feel, everyone listening, I know you guys feel this. I feel it. I'm there. The same feelings. You listen to Sober's Dope, episode 1. That's me. That's you. That's the point. I feel like there's this baseline human condition where we get to this bottom where we all fight to get back up, and it's all of these parallels, these real parallels. It's amazing because there was a point where that was the fundamental part of my stupor and my darkness. I was like, but what happened to me? Like, I feel like something is trying to steal me. Like like something is trying to really take me out of this world. And it's not just a physical thing. It's like I was losing faith and hope in my capability and potential to be good and grow and participate in society. And then it's compounded with this kind of like, did I damage? Did I create too much damage? Did I mess things up so much? Am I redeemable? Is it worth even fighting for?
yeah.
And that's kind of why I could relate to that part where you like, I don't care anymore. The I don't care comes from, you know what? I did so much bad things. I'm just so messed up. I'm a piece of junk, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. But
Yeah.
then deep down, you really do. Every fabric of your being cares. You're just
Right.
You're just deflecting because you're hurt. It's
Mm-hmm.
deep. It's so deep. This is healing, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on today and we got to do more episodes with people because this is the only way we grow when we find pieces of ourselves. I feel like I was right there with you. I was coming out of a relationship. So I was dealing with the mental health grief. I never got over my dad. As we know, my dad passed away in September 11th. Damn. I'm like 1992, 93, I guess. Yeah, well, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like, man, I have to deal with the grief of my dad. And look, I'm finally got to a place after like 20 plus years where I understand. I made peace. I'll tell you a quick story about my dad. It might make you laugh and feel better because I feel like we don't die, and I have proof.
Mm-hmm.
I think God puts us in special remote places while our soul is still unpacking a lot, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my dad was on this coastal beach kind of like resort, like he was like a resort salesman in this coastal beach town in a far side of heaven. It didn't look like Earth, but it mirrored Earth, but it was way more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And he had it going on. He had like a car. He was young. He had a girl. He had a life, right? But this is the part that was hilarious. My brothers and sisters, we appeared in the dream like we found him. Like, guys, we found dad. So when we went to his job, we kept going like, hey, tell him his kids is here. We want to see him. And we could see the guys running out the back door, like, tell those crazy people, get away. I don't know those crazy people. And he was just trying to run. It was as if he lived this beautiful, he had like this temporary amnesia of his past life. And he just was chilling. He was like some beach salesman somewhere in heaven, like had a girlfriend. And he was like, I don't have that many kids. Who are they? They was like, guys, listen. And now, so this is this is the spiritual magical part. The concierge lady I felt like was an angel because we was heartbroken. We was like, but that's our dad. He's right there. And she said, guys, this is where he's at. Is he won't remember you here. He's still your dad and he knows who you are. But it's like he's protected here. He's just chilling. So I don't know how y'all got here, but y'all gotta go. And then I woke up and I told my sibling, we laughed, man. We said, I can't believe that he was running, man. So the thing is, I tell you that because when you see your loved ones in this warped out, new clothes, different place, looking younger, alive, conscious. My brain is not brilliant enough to bring and make that much stuff up, right? It was an aspect of us it's like sometimes most of us could go that far into the other side and bring back the knowledge to others and say, hey, maybe I think we're all right. I think we're going to be all right. And one of the things my dad told me before he died was you got to remember you're going to be okay in your darkest hour. You're going to be okay. Because we also got in a car accident and I was like crying and stuff. And, and I remember when he was passing away, I was over him and I was young. I was like 13, 12. And I was like, Dad, it was my worst nightmare. And I'm like, Dad, no. And he had enough. It was like he just looked at me and said, I remember I taught you this. This is that moment where you gotta just chill. And I was just like, no. And it was just like, God was like, yes, this is happening today. But this is the healing. We gotta come this far to heal. Now, why did I say all of that? You have 1 year sobriety. Now let's go back to Sober is Dope day 1, 12 years ago. I'm glad I could say that, right? It feels like yesterday. 12 years ago, I didn't have this much perspective. It wasn't this much growth. You see, 12 years ago, I would have been talking about my dad's death from a whole different perspective. So you could see, even to anyone listening to the episode over the years, how I talk about my dad, it gets lighter and lighter. The healing gets more profound. I grow. So these are the promises that recovery offers to you, Jana. So I want you to know that you're not alone and our dad's is good. And but I just, you touch me because I could understand that. Being in that sunken place with the darkness is like being underwater and you're in the darkness, but you could see the sunlight on the surface kind of like closing in. And And you're here. All right. So you get to this point. Now, the next question is going to be a pointed question because there's people in the podcast community that's dealing with this. And I think you're the only person that's qualified to talk about it. Relationships and recovery and relationships and addiction. Now, this is how I want to frame this. I don't want to ask you about your divorce and stuff. I want to ask you for advice that you may give anyone that's dealing with a divorce or any type of thing that may be in a relationship where addiction is the glue. They may be using alcohol to deal with the pain, or they may have to leave the relationship to find their sober journey. Now, what advice do you give to anyone that's in a divorce or going through some type of breakup with a best friend and that type of pain? Because that usually is the thing that may cause someone to go to addiction, or that's where someone's running from. So can you give some tips for us for that?
This MailChimp-verific jingle is brought to you by MailChimp.
MailChimp, your marketing with AI and more. Advanced automations to connect to your store. MailChimp, your marketing and boost your clicks. Multi-channel campaigns now with SMS. That's lit.
MailChimp your marketing today with the #1 AI-powered email marketing and automation platform, Intuit MailChimp. #1 based on publicly available data on competitors' customers. Plans vary. SMS available as add-on. Visit MailChimp.com.
Make your next vacation unforgettable on Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas. It's everything you've loved about every family vacation you've ever been on, with mind-blowing thrills at the largest water park at sea, 7 onboard pools for every level of chill, more than 40 ways to dine and drink, and even more to enjoy at our award-winning private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. This is the new Star of the Seas. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Yeah, I mean, I came to a point, and again, I don't, this is nothing, not bad mouthing my ex or anything. This was just, I remember though feeling like, this was probably one of the hardest things I had to go through other than my dad dying. It might have been harder, and I just remember thinking though, like, I gotta face, it all depends on your past, but like, I felt like I had to go into this sobriety. I knew that's the path I wanted to go. I know I wanted to be sober. I know I wanted to like go that route, and I kind of wanted to do it alone. And that just, again, it depends on every situation. And I do remember feeling like, I would rather, they say this a lot in recovery, like, or people finally get sober, or they finally make that change when the pain outweighs, whatever pleasure that you're getting. And I just remember sitting in my mom, at my mom's house, like we were separated, and like, I was like, I would rather take the chance of dying as an old grandma alone and just face this sobriety, do this on my own, than stay in this relationship. And that sounds very hard, that's harsh, but you got to really ask yourself those tough questions. It felt like a liability, more of a liability for me to stay in my marriage. And not saying that he was bad. It was more about me. And like I have so much respect though for people that can make a marriage work, that can make a relationship work after a lot of bad stuff that happens. Like if you guys can make it work, it's the most beautiful thing that could ever, marriage is a beautiful thing. But I think that I couldn't continue. And I don't even know if I'm answering this very well.
No, you did though. Yes.
It's such a personal thing. And and they talk about this in the big book of AA, and I'm going to butcher it, but it's like, sometimes you have to like come to God alone, and you have to like do this sober thing alone.
Right.
And I think I also, it's like, I knew my dad's death. I hadn't really like processed that. I also I feel like what I'm going through now is what I probably should have went through in my 20s, my early 20s. But I just, I went to college. I lived with a bunch of girls. I got in a relationship. Like I never really like lived alone. I never really experienced life alone, like out there independently and like having to like I became very codependent on my ex. We were both enmeshed, codependent. Like, I mean, it got to that point. So it was like, I have to do this alone. And so, I mean, the best thing, I mean, not everyone is going to be as fortunate as my situation where we were able to, it was really tough and we didn't talk really for a year, but we were able to come together this past July and it was such a
that was
good,
nice.
yeah. I
That's,
mean,
yeah.
just, it's all good. Like
Right.
he's living his life now. I just wanted him to live the life that he wants to live, a life worth living,
Right.
and I know he wants the same for me. And it was like we weren't growing together anymore. We wanted different things, and that those are the kind of questions everyone's scared to be alone. But I'm telling you, I love living. I'm loving it. I got my place.
Right.
I got my dog. I'm like, it's great. I love
Right.
it. Of course, I
love
get
that.
lonely and I miss, whatever. But
Right.
but like also, in my first year of sobriety, something that was so cool, that was for me, it was a God thing. It was just the amount of, I like to say just angels, like people that came into my life at the perfect time, like my sponsor, for example, like who, just in these random things, like my apartment, it was like, it's a miracle. Like
Right.
I'm literally living, I will never go back to the life I had before because just God, there's this quote I like. It's like, it's something like when you show up for your life shows up for you.
I love that.
And I'm like, that's the evidence. I have too much evidence of that happening now.
Yeah.
The longer I've stayed sober, the more, I mean, my life's just a huge blessing. I'm grateful every day I wake up. I'm just, so I guess going back to the divorce, it's like, and with recovery, I mean, there is happiness on the other side. It's hard. It's really hard to leave a relationship. But that's when you got to invest in your family and your friends and like your community. And like, I love the other quote that's like, the opposite of addiction is connection, and I feel like
love that.
Yeah, I'm like more connected now than I've ever been in my life. And it's like that's fulfilling me. Where my marriage, I think I was putting way too much on him. Like I was putting all my eggs in that, like I needed to learn how to live alone and to have a relationship with God, my higher power, and depend on God. And like, I was all screwed up. I mean,
Oh man, your story is amazing. I love this. I mean, oh wow. It takes courage to choose yourself. It takes courage to choose the process and to walk it alone. I mean, when I was in rehab, my counselor didn't want to graduate me if I stayed in my relationship because she was like, "That's your codependent, and it's an enabling relationship."
Yeah.
I knew I was the older one and I was a little bit more spiritually grounded to take the ride, but everyone, it was like a committee. They was all standing around like, "Joe, we can't, like, your story is too connected to this person." Like,
yeah.
And like, I just was like, I get it. And it was many years where I was like, maybe I made a mistake and I really I should have probably gave myself that space and time to find me. So to do that is so courageous and I'm so proud of you. And it's so amazing. I'm so happy you chose yourself because sometimes you need a clean break to just learn who you are again. You're trying to find yourself. It's almost impossible to do that successfully if you're carrying the weight of someone else.
Yeah.
And then a lot of your addictive years was within this world with this person. So how do you really get a clean break? So to anyone listening, that's really sound advice. Sometimes it's okay to take the emotions out of it and take the fear of disappointment out of it and choose yourself, choose the process. And in that, you found a lot of God. God was your canopy in a way. It was like, I could see it behind you in the new place, the new beginnings on you with your door. I see it. It's like you're building this new world.
Yeah.
And congratulations. That's exciting. That's exciting.
Thank you. And I think too, real quick, another thing, it's like, and I have faith. It's like I always had in the back of my mind, like, and I still believe it, what's meant to be will be. Like, if we're meant to come back together, or if this, like, and that helped me make some of these decisions to choose myself. It's like, it's such a hard decision to make, to choose yourself, or to, like, but it's like life works itself out. Like, it's all going to be okay. It will work out. You just got to do the best you can. And anyway, so I just wanted to say that too, but yeah.
I love that. You kicking butt. You kicking butt. So you got 1 year coming up in about 2 days. All right. So how do you feel? You celebrating for your 1 year sober anniversary?
Yeah, I mean, well, my plan was I wanted to go take a trip. I wanted to take myself on a trip, but it's tough because I have a little niece who's been the other best blessing. It's kind of cool because my older sister had her, and she just turned 1 on the 13th of November. And so it's kind of cool too, because she's 1, I'm 1 in sober years. And it's like, it's just, to be an auntie to her, the best auntie, that just is a whole thing. But anyway, it's her, her birthday, Thanksgiving. So my new goal for myself is every year I'm going to take myself on a trip in the first week or second week of January. And I'm going to kick off the year going to Hawaii, Mexico, whatever, Costa Rica. And I'm going to treat myself, if I have the money, and just do that, because I'm a real experiences person. I love to, I'll go out to dinner and I'll do whatever on Saturday, but I really want to treat myself and like take myself on a trip. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is travel and meet new people and cultures and all that. So that's kind of my new goal. It's like every year I'll enjoy the holidays. I'll enjoy, and then I'll just start the new year with a nice sunshine trip. So
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. I might start doing the same thing. I think that we have to make a big splash and an event out of our healing and the milestones. Milestones are extremely important. I remember the other days, one of my friends, one of their family members just was like, so yeah, it's been like a year, you sober. Like, what are you, like, it's still a thing? You're counting? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? Do you understand the level of darkness we pull ourselves out of, people? Do you understand the miraculous, the miracles that have to take place? All of the things that have to line up for a person to get the epiphany that, hey, I might have a shot at this, getting my life back. And how many people don't make it there? They die on the way of that depression, darkness, the coldness of addiction. So bad. Yeah. When you look back to that darkness, it's like it's bad.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I want to plug to anyone that's listening, that's dealing with sobriety, and if you're struggling or if you have doubts, you have to embrace and remember the darkness. Remember those periods, because when we get sober, for some reason, for most of us, and this is important for you, you have 1 year. So I always try to tell people in early recovery is, it gets to a point where you have to stay creative. And to stay motivated, you have to remember exactly you have to be clear on where you came from.
Right.
Because people romanticize, they act like they put that in a box. Oh, I'm fine now. I can have one drink, it'll be fine. They already relapsed at that point. Once you start thinking that, you're mentally, emotionally, psychologically relapsed, right? You just didn't go through with it yet, but you're setting yourself up subconsciously to do it.
Right.
And you like literally block off the reality of where you came from, as if you're not going to go right back. And then, of course, they drink. And then within the next morning, that hell comes smack right back like it never left. And I
Right.
think that's the gripping terror that I hear on the phone or when someone from the sober is dope community relapses, which is rare, but it happens because we're human. And when they do, you hear the disappointment and the heartbreak.
Right.
Like, and I could tell you, every phone call mirrors the same type of sentiments. Like, oh man, oh my God, why did I do this? I feel so ashamed. I don't even know where I'm. It's like they're in this micro hell. And
Yes.
and for me, being on the other side, trying to coach them out of it, it's like it's hard because I'm like, all right, so are you by yourself? All right, is there anyone we could call? Do you have any water anywhere? Is there still anything? Oh, are you in a hotel? Oh man, where could I? It's so much, and a person is trying to figure out square one, but they have the first thing they usually would do will reach out to their sponsor or someone like me and say, "Hey, this thing happened." And from there, we're putting the pieces together from like anything. Like, what do you like? Are you hungry? Do you feel sick? Do you got to call the ambulance? And a person is so heartbroken. I always tell them, listen, it's okay. So I'm saying that to you and to anyone that's listening, just like stay within the light of your recovery, that joy and excitement. But remember, there's going to be times where it's not going to be all peaches and cream. It's going to be times where you're going to have a bad day, a bad week, you're going to be like, you have to know drinking is not, or going back to your drug of choice. It could be because sober is dope is for drinking, drugs, and everything.
Yeah.
It's not the answer, man. It's just nothing in that bottle that's ever gonna help you with any situation.
Right.
It helps you numb it and push it back while that situation grows and festers.
Right.
So that's even a lie. It's like, oh, I feel this temporary relief. Meanwhile, my problem just took steroids and it's big and it's like The Rock. I'm like, this thing was like a little mini thing. Now it's the Dwayne Rock Johnson. So it's like, it's crazy.
It's so true. You gotta remember the darkness, and it's funny how our brains, it's like, I haven't had a kid, but I've heard this from moms, like, new mothers. They're like, if you ask them during labor, like, do you want to do this again? They'd be like, hell no, but you ask them 2 weeks later and they're like, yeah, because, you just, I don't know. I mean, I guess we adapt as humans, but you gotta remember that darkness. And I'm so thankful that the obsession and that little debate in my mind of if I should and what, I mean, that was all of 2023, was, I'll have this, but it taught me real quick, it taught alcohol within 2 weeks. I could drink normal. I think this is another thing important to say to like people that are maybe thinking about getting sober. Like, you can drink normal, like you can have normal days. I had plenty of times where I went to client dinners or this or that, totally fine. But eventually it always got me. Eventually I'd end up on my couch with the horrible box wine, whatever I could get my hands on, it was, and then, that's it. It's like my rock bottom, you can look at it's like, okay, like I had no car, no job, all that stuff sucked. But like the rock bottom was actually the spiritual and emotional.
Oh, wow.
So as we're saying, it's like that looking up the dark. I mean, that was bad. That was, I never want to be in that place again. And I'm not going to go into it. Maybe we could have another podcast.
We will.
But I mean, I had a very intense spiritual dream in September of 2023. And I thought I was done. I mean, talk about, it was the darkest, most, I mean, maybe offline we can talk about. I mean, it was crazy.
I want to talk about that. That's big.
And like, oh my gosh. And I thought I was done. I was like, this is it. This was like, I'm never drinking again. But I still went back a month and a half later. That was my last relapse. And it's just crazy. And that last relapse was because I was happy. Like, I got a new job. My niece was born. Life was good. I was like going on dates, feeling good, whatever. And dude, I mean, it's like the fact that I still went back after that dream, that spiritual, like, is just mind blowing to me. And then anyway, but so it just shows you how powerful addiction is. And, you know, it'll get you like, oh man, you gotta be strong in your
You got to be strong. You're something else. This is a powerful episode. Hey, you should get into radio, son. You good.
I got a lot to say.
You good.
How am I going to condense this?
It's you don't have to really. That's the whole point. We go to go on like just if you feel compelled, keep speaking because my thing is you have such an honest perspective. And I love it. Like sometimes people get into this. One thing I don't like to do on Sober is Dope is this whole like long drawn out origin story. I want to get right into the meats and potatoes. And this is it. This is where the money's at for someone that's on the other side. Like, whoa, man. Because addiction should, using your drug of choice should never be rooted in celebration, right? That's not an appropriate kind of response to achieving something. Society incorrectly taught us that, and we have to reprogram ourselves that is better ways. It was like the weirdest thing. Like God used to bless me with these miracles that I prayed for, and then my response was to get drunk in celebration, and I would destroy the miracle.
Yes, right.
And it was like God's patience. So God would be like, "All right, kid. Well, we'll try again because you're a good kid." But if anyone else besides God would be like, "Man, are you out your mind? We spent years building this miracle up. You pray for it every day. You get it, and destroy it within an hour."
Right.
It was the highest level of self-sabotage. Like I would sabotage every single good thing because it was almost as if deep down I felt like I didn't really deserve it or was worthy. I was like sabotaging myself. Sometimes to get out of things, I just kind of wanted to retreat back into my pain and anger and sadness. But it's like, come on, we can do better. And there's better ways to cope. And that's what Sober is Dope is about. That's what we love to talk about. So if you're sober curious and you're looking for a fresh start, listen to Jana because her story is for you, right? You have to learn how to choose yourself. You have to take the steps. We have a concept called an all-in approach on Sober is Dope. You're a perfect candidate for that. I mean, you go into AA, you go to therapy, you do kind of decompression things like yoga, you exercise, you decompress again with the sauna, you have kind of extracurricular activities you do to keep you busy, you golf, you have a career, you stay connected with family and community, you're doing the work. And you prioritize your healing above all else, and never make an excuse for that, right? Right? And you're going to be an expert. If not already, you're getting there because you're listening to the podcast and you pick things up between AA and the community. We educate each other because you educated me a lot today. You taught me a lot. You made me a better person. So that's why whether you have 1 year or 12 or 50, we all need one another to grow.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Like your 2025 is going to be off the hook.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm just so grateful. I also journal a ton, and that's something I mean, not everybody likes to journal, but I've been writing for a long time, and that is something really cool to do also if you're in recovery or starting out. I can literally flip back 10 years ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, and I can see exactly how I was feeling, what I was doing. Like, it's really a cool thing, and that's been really neat in my sobriety too, because you go through it, and I write it all out. And it's really cool though to see the growth that I've just the maturity and my spiritual, growth, everything. It's really cool to do that. So, I mean, I think too, like I remember moving home and talking to my therapist and just saying every memory I have of my hometown is riddled with drunken,
Right.
like everything has like I can't even go to my family cabin without remembering, we'd always get hammered there. Like why, like how, and she was just like, you have to, it would like just replace those memories with sober memories. And soon enough, of course, the first time you're going to probably feel a little triggered. You're going to want to, pop a drink, whatever, but like just get through it. And then it's true. It's like now I go on vacation and I don't even think about drinking. I'm enjoying the beach. I'm enjoying my company. I'm enjoying the dinner, this
Oh
amazing
yeah.
meal, and the dessert.
Food.
I eat dessert almost every night. I love my
Right.
dessert. And
Right.
it's like, it's so cool though, because it worked. Those promises, I mean, you will replace those bad memories with new good ones, and you just got to stick it out. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you got to just stick it out, keep going. And then it's like, man, it's like life. Like I'm going into Thanksgiving so excited, so happy to help with the turkey, do all this stuff. And like, in the years past, it was always just how drunk can I get without everybody noticing me? Like,
Right, right, right. Let me ask you a question just to make sure you're well covered. How is your family supportive? Like when you go to Thanksgiving, are you worried about drinks or people bothering you? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, I am very fortunate because I would say literally everyone in my family and my close friend, like they're all so supportive. My work, I think that's another thing. Like it's a really sensitive topic. It's very personal. But I kind of went into this all or nothing thing. I was like, I gotta tell my job. I gotta tell these people I'm sober. I gotta tell my friends, my family. And everybody met me with like, wow, good for you. And I've also had people approach me that I never would have thought would have come to me and asked me for advice or this, or they see me and they're like, you're glowing, you're happy, you have this light in you. And it's just like, so I'm very fortunate. Like everybody's very supportive. Um, I'm lucky. I'm very lucky in that regard. Cause I know some people, it's tough I mean, I have some friends where I think, if we still lived in the same town, it would probably be hard. I probably wouldn't be able to hang out with them as,
Right, right. Yeah, I
it
have a bunch of
maybe.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, so I definitely have people like that. They still respect me and support me, but it's like it's
yeah,
just
you do you, I'll do me. I love
yeah,
you from
yeah.
afar. Right. Yeah, right,
Yep,
right.
yes.
No
So
love lost, but you stay over there.
yeah. So
uh,
yeah, it's good. Yeah.
As you know, on the podcast, we have a bunch of episodes about the holidays. You're in early recovery. So my thing is, if you have any issues, I mean, you have my information. Always reach out because it's no joke. And people play games on this journey. You never know what little obstacle. That's the
Mhm.
only reason I did the podcast, because I got to a point where it was so life and death for me to master this thing and be spiritually on point. Because I'm always looking for the devil. It's like I stand
Yeah.
like this and I'm like, he's trying. Like I have this fear because I remember how crazy it was. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't mess this up. I'm
Mhm.
never gonna get comfortable with alcohol. I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm like this all day. And
Mhm.
over the years, it was like I was tested here and there. I had friends who I just found out one of my best friends was telling his wife and running around saying that guy ain't so he can't be sober. He's full. I don't believe him for a bit. And I heard it, and it really I had a visceral
Wow.
pain. Like I was heartbroken. Like, well, why would he think that though? He doesn't even
Yeah.
come around to see me. Like he's still drinking and he's miserable, but his misery try to discredit my hard work, and like I'm gonna come on this podcast and lie and like you know what I mean? And then I
Yeah.
realized, okay, so you're going to deal with haters. You're going to deal with people who may not be in your best interest. You're going to deal with other miserable people who still in their addiction that's going to want
Yeah.
to inflict pain on you. But we're ready. We like this. That's what spiritual warfare is about. And that's what the first book, Sober is Dope, is about. You
Mhm.
know, and again, everyone know I'm very successful, so I could care less about book sales and stuff. I'm not plugging. I wrote these things as tools. Like,
Yeah.
I know, like, there's a spiritual war, then there's a personal war we are going to navigate. And I'm glad you said that. That sunken place is what the prayers and the affirmations and the reminders. It's this
Yeah.
daily. Who said Zig Ziglar? He's a famous foundational motivational speaker, right? He
Yeah.
said motivation is like bathing. You need to do it every day. right? So you can't listen to a motivational speech on a Monday and then by Friday be like, I'm all motivated up. You're going to have to like, I need, go dip back in and don't be afraid and fight and be straight up. And the most courageous thing I have ever heard is that you went to your job and you that serious.
Yeah.
You told your job.
Yeah.
You get props, man. You get props.
I know.
You're like the new sensei.
Yeah. Well, and I love, I mean, your book is, I need to get the first one too, but I just, so far, I'm not through this one yet, but it's amazing. I mean, you're a beautiful writer. I love it. It's so practical. Like everything in here is so good. It's such a good reminder. We need these reminders.
We need the reminders. That's it.
And I think too, like affirmations, manifesting, like praying. I wrote out in my journal a 2 years ago, my ideal apartment, my ideal job. I was literally this is when I was living at my mom's in this tiny little closet, basically. And I was like, whatever, my friend told me this. I love it. It's like, instead of thinking what's the worst that can happen, think what's the best that can happen. Right, Shout out to my friend, Andrea. She told me, I was like, okay. So I started writing, I kid you not, word for word, my apartment, my job, it all happened. It didn't happen overnight. And I'm not saying this will happen to everybody, but it's like, give it a try. Give God a chance. Give it a try. Write it out. Give it a try. Because you'll be surprised. Like what happens, the miracles that happen in your life. I mean, I feel like I'm a walking miracle. My life, the things that I've received, I've also had to learn how to like hold it with my not gripping it. I got to keep my hands like this because I don't want to get too attached to anything. But it's just, it's been a beautiful experience, but a very painful, very hard experience. But more so, it's been just amazing to see like what God has done in my life. I mean, it's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. So
you're a miracle. On that note, friends and family, you're listening to Sober is Dope. I told y'all we're gonna bring on our 1-year expert. She killed it.
Thank you.
Jana, you're an amazing human being. I wish you the best. I would be here next year for year 2. Let's do this. Let's do a podcast every anniversary. You got something else to look forward to? Come on. Keep journaling, keep doing you. You're the real deal. I swear. I listen closely to where a person's coming from. You are the real deal. You're doing the work. And please, I'm looking at you now. You are a miracle. You're shining. Don't ever let anyone steal that light. Don't let any situation. Our dads are connected. September 11th. I believe once we spoke and we actually see that they kind of come together too and say, look, my son's talking to your daughter, and they both got out of this darkness, and then we have these bigger angels, right?
Right.
So keep up the good work. So before we go, we're going to recap. If you're out there and you're dealing with the darkness of addiction and you don't know where to go, let this episode be a roadmap for you, okay? Go deep in yourself, pamper yourself, love yourself. Practice radical self-care. I talk about that a lot. Today was my day off. 90% of my day was an obnoxious steam affair with hot water, red lights, and beautiful drinks and food. And I went to the studio yesterday. I did my next song. So I'm creating. I'm really trying to stay in the flow of it all. And don't give up. The miracles that come out of sobriety are unceasing. They're never ending. I promise. Like this is another thing I want to tell you. I always tell people this is a very beautiful thing. In recovery, you always get a gift. God gives you a little gift every day. It could be a micro gift. You find something, or you have an idea, or you get a premonition, or you get this inflection, or it's the little things. Keep going, because you're going to go, oh man, it gets better.
Yeah.
And our brains go through this healing process where, we come out of the pink cloud and it gets a little challenging. When that happens, double down on the self-love, self-care, therapy, healing, and stuff like that. So, Jana, you are amazing. If anyone wants to find you, communicate you, talk to you to get you on their podcast, how can they find you?
Yeah, I would love it. Reach out anytime. I'm trying to get more out there on my social media, but as of now, it's just my Instagram. You can find me. It's my name, but it's JanaJack. So Jana Jack, but there's an extra A in there in the middle. So, and yeah, just, I mean, you can find me on there. I would love to start. I mean, I was a writer. I am a writer. I, studied journalism. I've always kind of wanted to, maybe a podcast is my future. I don't know.
All right. Well, look, we'll get you set up. Anything you need, look, we'll get you set up. You friends with Pop, so you'll be in good hands.
Yes.
All right. So that's a wrap for our amazing episode. Friends and family, you're listening to Sober is Dope podcast. Choose yourself, rescue yourself, love yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Stay connected and tap in. We love you. Go in peace, and we'll catch you all on the other side. God bless.